Alrighty, well, let's move on to the next conference in the lineup then, the Square Enix conference.
Yeah,
this one was just a pre-recorded...
Yeah, trailer-a-thon, which, honestly, after the EA conference, I have no problem with. There were people pissed about it, but I can understand why, because they want some more information than just what the trailer gave, but
Yeah.
It is kind of Well, I was going to say it is kind of strange just watching how different companies really approach their conferences, because Sony Sony and EA phoned it in different ways. Technically, Square Enix also phoned it in, but it was done a lot better. Just pre-recorded. Here you go, a bunch of trailers and some connecting stuff.
Yeah, they did it like how Nintendo does theirs, because they just basically Nintendo always. Or not always, but the last
not
several
this year.
years, it's just done a direct, basically, a Nintendo Direct for E3.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo had their own thing, but Nintendo always does their own thing. But this was a lot more streamlined.
Yeah. They spent the first 10 or so minutes talking about the new Tomb Raider game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and showing some gameplay footage, which the gameplay footage looked better than the trailer they showed at the Microsoft conference.
Yeah, the
so
Microsoft
I don't know
conference
what's up with that.
Had some sort of weird artifacting and flickering going on. Maybe it was a different build or a different render or something.
Yeah.
But it does look like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, or maybe it's just because I haven't played the second one yet, is a lot more stealth focused.
Yeah, I haven't played the second Tomb Raider.
Or they just picked a portion that showed off the stealth mechanics, which is also a possibility.
Yeah, because there were definitely some more stealth-heavy sections in the first one.
Yeah, there were, but it wasn't the focus.
Yeah. So who knows?
And you still had usually the option to go run and gun.
Yeah.
But I also noticed that there was a couple cutscene takedowns, which I honestly didn't enjoy, mostly because it was a time in the first game she would have gotten shot. Or did you notice that whenever she did the double takedown towards the end of the
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did a.
It felt like they attacked her one at a time.
Yeah.
Instead of shooting her, which would have happened.
Yeah, which I'm taking it as a cutscene there, which honestly makes it a lot more or a lot less interesting to me. And they also highlighted that there's going to be underwater levels because that's what people fucking want, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. We need a water temple.
Underwater levels with 360-degree freedom of movement, so you could drown in every single way.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a Lara Croft drowning counter. Worldwide drowning counter.
I wonder if they could get a hold of Sega to borrow the Sonic music for when he's underwater.
Sega.
But it is kind of funny just the progression Lara Croft has made from being rather whiny about killing someone and just mass murder while outside of cutscenes to just mass murder in general.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to take her on some sort of long form character arc or what. But it seems like it seems like they've kind of given up on the whole, survival thing that they were trying to do with the first game. Yeah. But I'm not like super interested. I'll probably eventually play it. But I'm definitely not going to buy it at launch, and I still haven't played the second one. So yeah, I've got to get through that one before I get to this one.
Yeah, the second one is on my to-do list, but it's not high on my to-do list.
Yeah. So then they moved on from Tomb Raider to Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, which I don't play this game, so it was completely lost on me. I mean, one of my notes is literally, I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 is an MMO that I've wanted to get into a couple of times, but I basically just don't play MMOs anymore. They're about the only things that really bring out my addictive tendencies.
Wow, I didn't know BattleTech was an MMO.
I've already explained the special circumstances for BattleTech. MMOs make me want to do that when I actually don't have like the ability to do so. So it's like I'm giving up on other responsibilities. Like BattleTech now that things are back in the swing, I have played it a couple of hours a day, like as my wind down time before bed, like when everyone's asleep before I go to bed.
Yeah, but then I made the mistake of showing you that mod.
Yeah. I'm already playing with a number of mods. I've been modding the game myself. Like, I haven't, like, put out any mods, but I'm trying to teach myself how to do it using BattleTech. I've broken a lot of things. A lot of things. But maybe we'll go there on next week's recording.
Yeah, probably the only really interesting thing about the Final Fantasy thing is the crossover with Monster Hunter. But, they didn't really say anything. It's just, they had the Palico and, the Monster Hunter stuff. And that was it. The most interesting thing about this is the next game, which wasn't really shown that much in this conference, unfortunately. Life is Strange, Captain Spirit, which we kept calling him Captain Imagination, which, is more fitting, honestly.
yeah, but it is Captain Spirit. The awesome adventures of Captain Spirit.
Yeah, which I'm still trying to figure out if this kid is Doug or Calvin.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. But yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit more at length, and it got left in from which other conference was it? Microsoft conference?
I think it was.
Yeah, it got left in some of the stuff that we talked about while we were watching that live. But
yeah, probably the most interesting thing about this, well, for one, I'm not sure if it's going to be the first episode or the entire thing is free. They actually didn't say that. If it's the first episode or it's free.
Yeah.
But they did talk about it leading into a larger Life is Strange universe, a Twilight Zone thing where it's an anthology, which is exactly what I wanted out of Life is Strange from the very beginning.
Yeah, that fits Life is Strange, that universe, perfectly. New characters going on adventures all in the same universe. Maybe every once in a while you get another adventure with the same character.
Or a cameo.
Or some cameos. But yeah, an anthology series would be perfect for Life is Strange. And my assumption, just based on what they did with the original Life is Strange, is that the first episode will be free. But
yeah, that's what I was assuming. But then after the fact, I realized that they never said the word episode, or I don't think they did. So that's why I was a little confused about that.
Yeah, I suppose it could just be like one episode. I'm doing air quotes for that. Which that would be an interesting way to do it too, as part of an anthology series. Instead of having multiple episode arcs, just have 1 2 to 3 hour episode for a character story, and then the next one you get is a different character. Yeah,
that's something that I don't think we've really seen a lot of developers tackle this. Kind of the bog standard episodic game right now is 5 episodes. And I honestly think Life is Strange suffered from that. I don't think they needed 5 episodes. I think they could have done it in 4 and had a lot tighter story.
Well, the prequel is only 3 episodes, so...
Yeah, but I have little interest in playing the prequel, mostly because I don't need to see Chloe while she's descending into her bitchitude.
Yeah.
I mean, can you blame me there? I didn't like bitch Chloe. I liked the progression as she grew out of being an angry teen.
Yeah.
I don't need to see her slipping into it. And plus, I always felt like, it was kind of a lack of a point for that story. Maybe it's just because I didn't play it that I don't see the point. I don't know. But I am really interested in Captain Spirit, and that's going to be a pickup for me.
Yeah, same. Anything else in the conference that really because there's a couple of other things that were like highlights to me, but a lot of these other. Okay. I was gonna say the next several games I don't really care about.
Yeah, well,
or
quick
we didn't
one-offs.
get enough of anything about
Dragon Quest XI, which honestly it's just Dragon Quest, but it made me realize I never played Dragon Quest. Maybe I should do that at some point. Babylon's Fall, world events all over the map. No idea what the hell is going on. Literally my note for this. Teaser, nothing else shown, but we'll release in 2019. Noir Atomic coming to Xbox, all DLC included. Wonder if they'll patch it. Because for at least a long time on PC, it never got patched. I'm not sure if they ever did.
Yeah, they did. They fixed the issues, but it got 2 or 3 patches on PS4 before they patched it on PC.
Octopath Traveler, which is a Switch-only release, which had my note of Final Fantasy Tactics ? Because it did look like it. Just Cause 4, which is pretty much a refinement of Just Cause 3, which isn't a bad thing. Only thing that's kind of a question mark for me, and this is going to sound really, really, really strange from me, is the better AI for enemies. To me, Just Cause is a power fantasy, and having the enemies, or at least the goons, I should say, the low-level enemies and up to about the mid-level, be actually intelligent, honestly feels a little like it's missing the point of Just Cause.
Yeah, kind of like it defeats the purpose of the game. Yeah, Just Cause has always been about silly, over-the-top destruction and, like you said, power fantasy, just mowing down dozens or hundreds of goons. And the only challenging fights that really have ever been like the boss battles or trying to complete a challenge to get a certain grade or time or whatever, because when you go back and replay them, you know there were additional things. So I don't know if I want smarter AI, but maybe they could balance it out by making you more powerful in some way. I don't really know how you can do that.
Well, they were talking about in one of the other conferences, I think it was actually the PC gaming show, or no, it probably wasn't the PC gaming show because they didn't talk about their, I can't remember where they talked about it. Now it's kind of a blur because I've watched all of these.
I think it was at Microsoft.
They were talking about a lot more of the customization and being able to build yourself up a lot more. So maybe it counterbalances, but it just feels like it's missing the point, which I realize for me saying I want dumber enemies, it sounds really strange, but Just Cause.
Yeah, Just Cause.
And then the teaser for The Quiet Man, which really showed nothing, but it was interesting because it seems like it's a deaf protagonist.
Yeah.
Which could lead to some interesting things.
Yeah, some sort of third-person action.
Yeah, I was going to go
RPG.
I was going third-person brawler.
It could be a brawler. Yeah, it could have been. I mean, it was just a teaser. And they didn't talk about it, so...
Yeah, I didn't talk about it, but it was interesting. It was... as you shifted perspective to the... I'm assuming it's the protagonist, at least. It's this guy, moody guy holding a brown paper bag. All the sounds fade away. And the only time you hear something, or hear in sarcastic quotes, is impacts. Enough of a jolt that you feel it.
Yeah.
Which is a really, really interesting way to show that. And it could make for some interesting game design because a lot of games use audio cues. There's not that many that use visual cues. Only one that I can think of just off the top of my head is Valve. Because they love using light as a visual cue. But even then, you still have audio cues.
Yeah.
So taking away a sense makes for some potential interesting game design.
Yeah, I liked the look of it, and I hope they can do something interesting with it. Because there was an indie game a couple of years ago where you played as a blind girl.
Yeah, Beyond Sight.
Yeah, and the only way you could reveal the map was by interacting with it with your other senses. And that was some really interesting gameplay mechanics, and they did, I think, some neat stuff with it.
Well, I talked about another one, a shooter that... not too long ago, where as you everybody was blind, but you had the power of echolocation.
Yeah,
it was really interesting. Granted, it's an indie multiplayer focused shooter, so nobody was really playing it, and the bots were fucking brutal.
Yeah,
but there are some very interesting design ideas that could be raised just by removing a key sense. So that's one to really look out for, in my opinion, assuming that it's done well. Because, it's a pure teaser. We don't know anything else about it. And we could be completely misinterpreting what they're going with.
Yeah. Wait and see. We'll wait and see, but this is another one that I've got I'm going to keep my eye on. The last thing was Kingdom Hearts 3. Which they had a trailer that I thought was the same. Yeah, some people said it was a little bit different.
Yeah, this was pretty much the same, except for a couple little portions, which honestly don't really matter. One of my notes on this is tough to be excited for a game I'm 20 games behind on the story.
Yeah. That is true story, bro.
I mean, it's just tough to be excited for Kingdom Hearts. It's been 10 years since the last main numbered one, and there's been how many in between it?
Yeah, there's been several. We seriously went through it a few weeks ago, and it is something like 14 or 15 games total, with only 2 being like the mainline ones, and then a couple of them also have
major story
stuff, but
that's still
there's a whole bunch of just fluff.
Yeah, that's a hell of a lot of content to go through, though. Even just that few, because these are JRPGs.
Yeah.
But big thing on this was actually what's not there, which was something I was wanting to see out of this conference.
What? Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy VII. What the fuck are they doing with this?
I didn't expect to see anything about Final Fantasy.
I expected at least a mention.
No, all their focus right now is on Kingdom Hearts 3. And then
for their focus on Kingdom Hearts 3, they didn't show a lot. I mean, it was mostly in the Sony conference, wasn't it?
Yeah. But if there's yawn.
Wake the fuck up.
I've already drank my entire energy drink. If they don't push it back again, it will next year will be, I think, when we get some bigger stuff about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Remake, remaster, whatever it winds up being. But I mean, I think we said this a couple weeks ago too, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that they wound up there was a rumor that the studio they had farmed that out to was doing a bad job, and they basically threw everything away and started over last year.
Yeah, which it's ridiculous that it's taken them this long.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like they're trying to reinvent the wheel with Final Fantasy VII, which just seems foolish. But
we'll see.
But I had to at least mention it since it was one of the things I wanted to see just because of the train wreck potential.
Yeah.
Overall, I don't think it was a bad conference. I mean, a lot of it I didn't care about. There was a couple of things that I really didn't care about, but there were highlights.
Yeah, overall, I would say it was like a solid C to C plus conference. Like there was a lot of stuff I didn't.
I think I was excited enough about Captain Spirit that I'll actually bump it up to a B minus.
I could go for a B minus. I can agree with that. I was more on the C plus end anyways, and there were a couple things that I was interested in, and I was actually glad that it was short and pretty concise. It was easy for me to watch and make some notes on.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of
because I have been super fucking busy with all of this stuff this week. So, yeah, I'll go with a B minus.
I mean, even though I didn't really care for Tomb Raider, there were good chunks of content in there. I do wish Octopath Traveler was coming out on something other than Switch, though, because that did look interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it may in the future.
Yeah, true.